Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassidy Carson and this is the life of a writer. Today is January 20th, 2026, so it is my middle child's 40th birthday. I know exactly what I was doing on this day in 1986, which if we did not have milestones, we would not have memorable days like that. So I celebrated with my kids and grandkids yesterday, and it was a tiring day. I enjoy hanging out with them, but more and more often I'm finding that leaving the house just exhausts me going out in public. And I don't know how much of that is because I'm an introvert, how much of that is because I'm retired and I'm home most of the time now, and how much of that is the stress of what's going on in the world around us. So whatever the cause, that's why I'm looking a little rough around the edges today. I need to catch up on some laundry, and I did the trash and things like that, the normal household things. And now I'm settling down to revise my work in progress. So Restless Spirits Book 2. And I'm so hopeful that I can get this out to my betas tonight, because I need to move on to some other things. I've got a lot going on. And yesterday I talked a little bit about, why the rush. But there's just so much I want to finish. I have so many things hanging that I feel like I need to move through them. And not that I don't want to give them my best effort, but there's just a lot of stuff I want to accomplish. So that's part of the reason why I'm looking rough around the edges right now, because I'm recuperating from my outing yesterday, and I am settling down to do some revision. And I'm going to keep this video fairly short because like I said, I have a lot to do today, but I just wanted to check in. I hope that if you are having a rough time, I know a lot of people are, I hope that you are trying to rest when you can and relax as much as possible, and just do the best you can. That's all we can do every day. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do the best I can, even though I really want to just curl up in my recliner and ignore the world right now. I am working on my consistency. I'm recording my video. I'm revising my manuscript. I'm doing household chores. So not to say that when I'm feeling really awful, I won't be taking downtime, but I can tell the difference between I'm feeling bad and a little lazy versus I'm feeling awful, back to the whole rough around the edges. I definitely feel rough around the edges today. And I feel that my work in progress is a little rough around the edges too. I'm still trying to finalize the last chapter of the book. I feel like I watched a rom-com last night. It was a memorable, or not a memorable, excuse me, it was not a memorable rom-com. It was one of those, since they do put out so many of those movies on places like the Hallmark Channel, they kind of roll them out, and similar plot lines and things. But this one caught my attention because the female main character worked as an editor for a publishing company in the romance division. So anything that's writer related normally catches my attention. And she was editing a romance co-written by a married couple, which JT and I are a married couple. So there, you've got two things that have caught my attention. And then it turns out the married couple is going on a trip. They need some last minute editing done because their book is about to go to the printer. So they offer her their house to have some quiet while she's doing the editing, because it needs to be done within a short amount of time. But in the meantime, they also have offered their house to their nephew. They're very close to their nephew. He is a marriage counselor, marriage coach. I'm not exactly clear because I was only paying half attention to this while I was playing games. but he was a counselor, somebody who dealt with married couples, and he was going to be using the house while they were gone as well. He wasn't staying there, but he was using the living room for couples counseling, basically. And it takes place around Valentine's Day. So we meet a group of couples that are in various stages of their marriage, and they're not feeling all that romantic as Valentine's Day is coming up. And in the meantime, the nephew of the author couple is unmarried, as is the editor. So the married couple is trying to play Cupid for their nephew, and they like the editor. So they suggest that she sit in on these counseling sessions. And of course, she's trying to say, well, I need to get the editing done on your book. But, she's like, oh, okay, I'll play along. And she starts going to these sessions. And since the counselor and the editor neither of them are married or in a relationship right now, they end up being a faux couple throughout the course of this series of counseling sessions. So it's actually very cute. It's not cute in the way that's like cringy. It was cute in a, oh, this is sweet type of way. And the counselor and the editor develop a relationship because they're doing the same kind of activities that he is recommending to the married couples. And we learn more about the married couples as that goes along as well. And it turns out very sweet. I enjoyed it, even though, like I said, I was only paying attention with half my mind because I was playing games at the same time. It was a quiet evening in my recliner as I recuperated from my outing yesterday. But as I was watching this, I felt like my book probably needs a little bit more romance beats in it. I don't know. I love romance. I love reading romance. I read tons of romances of different kinds. And for some reason, I always feel like I'm a little lacking in the romance department, even though I'm living a 40-plus year romantic relationship. And like I said, I think I mentioned that JT got me roses. So, and he often buys me flowers, and we do little things for each other. He does what he calls his turn down service for me every night, puts a warm popcorn bag in the bed so my foot area is warm when I climb in, and he tucks me in, and I fix him breakfast and lunch and dinner, and we get each other little surprises just at random. So it's not like we don't have a romantic life, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a romantic life that I think maybe romance is a little more mundane to me. Maybe I'm not translating that well to the page. So my work in progress is a little rough around the edges, and I want to maybe add a few more romance beats while I'm doing this round of revisions before I send it to the betas, because my main couple in this book is a long married couple. They've been together for almost 50 years. And of course, JT and I aren't quite there yet. We have another, let's see, this year will be our 44th anniversary. So we're coming close, but I definitely can relate to what I'm putting my characters through in a relationship sense, and the fact that, like I said, life can be a little mundane. You've been together so long. It's not that you don't have moments where you still feel that surge of the first thing that attracted you to the person. For example, JT, for me, that was his sense of humor. He was so funny in kind of an annoying way sometimes, but his sense of humor has held steady over the years. And I will say that his sense of humor, going back to my middle child's birthday, helped me get through childbirth, because he would be cracking jokes during labor, and I had a long labor with middle. I think it was something like 17 hours. It was long. And I did 3 labors unmedicated, without painkillers, I should say. So having a sense of humor was really helpful. I would not have been able to do it otherwise. And I had my kids in the 1980s, and they were recommending that not using painkillers was best for the baby, because otherwise they were born groggy. So I was, trying to take one for the team as a mother. Thinking back, I might not have been quite so adamant about not using the painkillers, but JT definitely helped get me through that, as he's gotten me through so many things over the years with his sense of humor. And I feel that I was right to be attracted to that, because it is a very important part of our relationship. I think he's definitely got a better sense of humor than I do. And he can be very sweet and romantic. In the last few days, for some odd reason, he's decided that he's going to be a lot more overtly physically affectionate than he normally is. So I don't know if it's because Valentine's Day is coming up, or, you know, what's going on, because we all go through phases, but it's definitely an interesting situation. And going back to my manuscript, my main couple, since they've been together so long, they do take each other a little bit for granted, and that plays into the story a little bit, because they need to re-find the romance in the relationship. And with all the other things going on, because it is a paranormal romance as well for my paranormal romance series, Restless Spirits. So I need to smooth out those rough edges and put in some things that I feel will be a little bit more maybe relatable to the readers. I don't know. I keep having the thought that I need to write more for myself than I do for other people, because otherwise, what's the point? I know people do, some authors really do like to sit down and they'll have things planned out, and I do that to some extent, but they plan it out to the point where they know specifically what their readers want and they give it to them. But I feel like I'm more of the kind of person that wants to relate to my readers as myself and not as a carbon copy of somebody else. And maybe that's why I've been struggling a little bit with my writing, because I keep trying to take other advice and it's not working out for me, because it kind of goes against who I am as a writer. So we'll see how that plays out as I work through this book series, because I don't know. We all have doubts about our writing, and I'm in a definite place where I'm having a lot of self-doubt, and yeah, it's back to the whole rough around the edges thing. So I need to actually get to work. I am procrastinating by chatting with you. I hope some of this made sense, and I really do appreciate if you have started following along on this journey with me. I still don't have very many subscribers, and that may never change, but I hope if someone happens to stumble across any of my videos, I hope it will be helpful to them. I hope there's something that the person can at least relate to if I can't provide them any advice, because basically we're all very similar in some ways. And I think we need to remember that a lot more than we have been. So that's my ramble for the day. This video is also going to be a little rough around the edges, but I hope it made some sense as I was reminiscing about birthdays and relationships and just, the movie I watched last night. It all manages to come together somehow. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. If you stumbled across this and you have not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would. I do hope to get a few more followers and have a little bit of a community going, but that's not urgent, and if it never happens, that's fine. So thank you again. And once more, I'm Cassidy Carson, and this is The Life of a Writer. I'll see you tomorrow.